This is a Milwaukee 18-volt lithium-ion battery. It's a small 1.5 amp-hour pack that was purchased back in 2012. Unfortunately, it's been collecting dust for a number of years after it refused to take a charge. All it can do now is give you a little red blinking light. Today, let's take a look and see what happened inside and if we can do anything about it. Like most drill battery packs, this one is made up of cylindrical lithium cells. This specific type is called an 18650 because they're 18 millimeters in diameter and 65 millimeters long. The 0 means they're cylinders. Regardless of whether the battery pack is advertised as 18 volt or 20 volt, it will be made up of one or more groups of 5 cells connected in series. Let's start by measuring the voltage of each individual cell in this pack. Well, that's interesting. Despite not being charged for a number of years, the first 3 cells have kept a reasonably high voltage, while the remaining 2 are showing 0 volts. That's definitely the reason this pack isn't working anymore. I actually have 2 dead battery packs, so let's see if something similar happened inside the second pack. Unfortunately, it looks like the same problem. 2 cells are showing 0 volts. It's strange that both packs have the same number of dead cells and in the same position. I'm not sure if this is a coincidence because I only have 2 samples to take a look at. Before I get to the batteries themselves, let's see what else is inside this pack. That's quite the circuit board. This is the battery's BMS board. From what I can tell, these BMS boards inside Milwaukee batteries, amongst other things, control the charging of each individual 18650 cell to make sure they are balanced. The Milwaukee charger itself just supplies power to the main positive and negative terminals of the battery. The battery's BMS takes care of the rest. Other brands have a slightly different approach to balancing their battery packs. For example, in DeWalt batteries, the balancing is controlled by the charger. This is why their battery packs have to have a terminal for each lithium cell or parallel group of cells to facilitate the balancing. Both methods accomplish the same task, but in slightly different ways. To help me understand what's going on with the individual cells, I have this specialized device. It can measure the capacity of a battery by discharging it in a controlled way. It can charge several battery chemistries, measure a battery's internal resistance, perform balancing, and more. I'll start with the cells which appear to be functioning well and measure their remaining capacity and internal resistance. This will tell me how much of their originally advertised 1500 mAh of energy they have left and their general condition. For the capacity test, I first charged each cell to 4.2 volts and discharged it down to 3.1 volts. I used a discharge current of 1 amps. Here are the results I got for each cell. I'm not sure how different my test parameters are from Milwaukee's or Samsung's because the cells are made by Samsung, but I'm pretty impressed considering it is a 10-year-old pack which hasn't been charged for a long time. The 2 remaining cells, on the other hand, won't take a charge, and I can't measure their internal resistance because there seems to be no continuity. After some reading, I think I know what the problem is. Many lithium 18650 cells have a feature called a CID or current interrupt device as part of their construction. Simply put, if for any reason pressure builds up inside of a cell, the CID blister pops out and mechanically disconnects the positive terminal of the battery. This way, whatever is causing the pressure buildup, such as overcharging, can stop and the battery is protected from failing in a dangerous way. This results in the cell reading 0 volts and having no continuity when measured. This is what I believe happened to the 2 dead cells. As for why, I'm not sure. It could be a fault with the battery's onboard balance charging board, causing them to get overcharged, a flaw within the individual cells themselves, overcharging, overheating, I just can't tell at this point. What I can do is remove the cells from the pack and verify it is a CID failure by forcing the CID blister back into position. To be clear, I will not be reusing these cells. I don't think that's safe and I don't want to take that risk. This will only be done to verify my theory. I'm going to do this by drilling a hole in the cell's positive end cap such that I can insert a blunt object to carefully push in the CID blister without bursting it. If the battery then reads the voltage, I can be sure that's what happened. So, I was wrong. The CID didn't look like it was popped out, and pushing in on it didn't have any effect. Still 0 volts. After some more reading, I came across claims that lithium cells can go into a sleep state, and that it's possible to wake them up and be functional again. I decided to give this a shot. First, I connected the dead cell to another fully charged one. Since my charger doesn't attempt to charge below a certain voltage, this was the only way I could get voltage into a cell. And it seemed to be somewhat working. I got the voltage up enough to be recognized by my charger, and I could give it a proper charge. Unfortunately, despite a few attempts at various charge settings, it wouldn't hold a charge for long. Overnight, the voltage would drop to below 1 volt from 4.2. I tried to run a capacity test immediately after a charge, and I got less than 200 milliamp hours. An internal resistance measurement showed about 450 milliohms, which is not a good sign. So it looks like the 2 dead cells in each pack are not easily salvageable. There's a lot of opinions out there on how to get the dead cells back to life, and I'd be curious to try some out for myself. It may make for interesting content. For now though, I have enough good cells to reassemble 1 full battery pack. And once the spot welder I ordered from eBay arrives, that's exactly what I'll do. In the meantime, this goes to the side by the other in-process projects, and I'll move on to something else. Thanks for watching.